Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into a crucial topic that can transform your relationships and communication skills. You see it every day in your homes, your workplaces, even on your television screens: toxic communication. It's like a poison that seeps into the very fabric of your relationships, leaving behind a trail of hurt, resentment, and broken connections. But here's the good news. You can break free from these destructive patterns. We're going to expose 8 common toxic communication habits that might be holding you back from having healthy, fulfilling relationships. We're not just going to identify the problems, we're going to give you the tools and strategies you need to overcome them. Get ready to transform your communication, because when you change the way you talk to each other, you can change your life. Are you ready to get real? Let's do this. Let's talk about interrupting. It's disrespectful, plain and simple. It sends the message that what they have to say is more important. Nobody likes to feel invisible. It's all about active listening. Give the other person your undivided attention. Pause for a beat before you respond. Active listening is about understanding the message behind the words. Let me tell you something, folks. Blaming is a losing game. It's easy to point fingers, to make excuses, and to shift responsibility onto someone else, but the truth is, blaming only creates more conflict and resentment. It's like throwing gasoline on a fire. It just makes things worse. When you blame someone, you're essentially saying you're the problem. You're putting them on the defensive, and that's never going to lead to a productive conversation. So how do you break the blame game cycle? It starts with taking responsibility for your own actions and emotions. Instead of saying, "You made me angry," try saying, "I felt angry when this happened." See the difference? You're owning your feelings without pointing fingers. Now, that doesn't mean you have to take the blame for everything, but it does mean acknowledging your part in the situation. Remember, relationships are about teamwork. You're in this together, and that means working through challenges as a team. When you shift your focus from blame to understanding, you open the door for real connection and resolution. Let's talk about passive aggressiveness, shall we? It's like a sneaky little virus that can infect your relationships without you even realizing it. It's about saying one thing and meaning another, about dropping hints instead of being direct. Here's the thing about passive aggressiveness. It's dishonest. It's about avoiding conflict at all costs, even if it means sacrificing your own needs and feelings. And here's the kicker, it never actually works. When you're passive aggressive, you're not fooling anyone. People see right through it, and it only leads to more frustration and resentment down the line. So what's the antidote? Direct and honest communication. I know it can be scary to speak your truth, especially if you're afraid of conflict. But trust me, it's much better to address issues head-on than to let them fester beneath the surface. So, the next time you're tempted to make a sarcastic comment or give someone the silent treatment, stop yourself. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what do I really want to say? Then, say it clearly, kindly, and directly. Now, let's talk about something that's absolutely crucial for healthy communication: validating feelings. When someone comes to you with their emotions, whether it's joy, sadness, anger, or fear, it's important to meet them with empathy and understanding. Dismissing someone's feelings is like telling them their emotions are wrong or invalid. It's like saying, "You shouldn't feel that way," which is incredibly hurtful and dismissive. Everyone deserves to have their feelings acknowledged and validated, even if you don't necessarily agree with them. Remember, feelings aren't facts. They're subjective experiences that deserve to be treated with respect. So, how do you validate someone's feelings? It's simple. Listen attentively, reflect back what you hear, and offer words of support. You don't have to fix their problems or offer solutions. Just be present with them in their emotional experience. Validating someone's feelings doesn't mean you're condoning their behavior. It simply means you're acknowledging their emotional reality. And that, my friends, is a powerful thing. Let's talk about stonewalling, folks. You know, that thing people do when they shut down, withdraw, and refuse to engage in a conversation? It's like talking to a brick wall. And let me tell you, it's incredibly frustrating. Stonewalling is a defense mechanism. It's a way of avoiding conflict, but it's also a way of avoiding intimacy and connection. When you stonewall someone, you're essentially saying, I'm checking out of this relationship. Now, I understand that conflict can be uncomfortable, but it's a natural part of any healthy relationship. The key is to learn how to navigate conflict constructively, not to avoid it altogether. So how do you break down those walls? It starts with self-awareness. Recognize when you're stonewalling and understand the triggers that cause you to shut down. Take a break if you need to, but don't use it as an excuse to avoid the conversation altogether. Let your partner know that you need some time to process, but that you're committed to working through the issue together. Remember, relationships thrive on communication. When you stonewall, you're essentially cutting off the lifeblood of your connection. Overgeneralizing. It's a common communication trap that can lead to misunderstandings and hurt feelings. We've all been there, haven't we? Using words like always and never can make the other person feel attacked and defensive. Think about it when you say things like, you always do this, or you never listen to me. You're not really describing the situation accurately. Are they really always doing that specific thing? Or is it just that one instance that's really sticking in your craw? Overgeneralizing paints a very broad brushstroke, and it's rarely accurate. It's important to be specific about the behavior that's bothering you and to avoid making sweeping statements. Instead of saying, you're always late, try saying, I noticed you were late for our last 3 meetings. See the difference? One is an accusation, the other is an observation. When you're specific, you're more likely to have a productive conversation. You're giving the other person concrete examples, and that makes it easier for them to understand your perspective. Remember, communication is about clarity. So, ditch the generalizations and focus on being specific and direct. Let's talk about criticism, shall we? It's a word that often carries a negative connotation, and for good reason. Criticism can be hurtful, especially when it's delivered with a sharp tongue and a lack of empathy. But here's the thing. Not all criticism is created equal. There's a big difference between constructive feedback and harsh criticism. Constructive feedback is about helping someone improve, while harsh criticism is about tearing them down. When you're offering feedback, it's important to focus on the behavior, not the person. Instead of saying, you're so disorganized, try saying, I noticed that the deadline was missed. Is there anything I can do to help you stay on track next time? See the difference? One is an attack on their character. The other is an observation about their behavior and an offer of support. Remember, feedback should be given with kindness and respect. It's about helping someone grow, not making them feel small. So choose your words carefully and make sure your intentions are pure. Let's talk about defensiveness, folks. It's a natural human reaction to feeling attacked or criticized. But you know what? It's also a major roadblock to effective communication. When you get defensive, you immediately put your guard up. You stop listening, you start making excuses, and you miss out on an opportunity to understand the other person's perspective. Defensiveness is like a wall that you build around yourself, and it prevents you from connecting with others. It's like saying, I'm right, you're wrong, and I'm not even going to consider your point of view. So how do you break down those walls of defensiveness? It starts with self-awareness. Recognize when you're getting defensive and take a moment to pause and breathe before responding. Instead of immediately jumping to your own defense, try to really listen to what the other person is saying. Ask clarifying questions and try to see things from their perspective. Remember, you don't always have to be right. Sometimes it's more important to be open to understanding than it is to be right, so let your guard down, be willing to be vulnerable, and see what happens. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tips on improving your communication skills. Remember, breaking these toxic communication habits takes time and effort, but the rewards are well worth it. By making a conscious effort to communicate more effectively, you can build stronger, healthier, and more fulfilling relationships. So go out there and start communicating like you mean it. See you next time.
So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.